जातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजन सहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते प्राप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। हरे कृष्णा। Continuing to study and discuss from the first chapter of the second canto, entitled First Step in God Realization. So far we've discussed that how a neophyte devotee, a transcendentalist who is wanting to progress on the path of self-realization, how he should focus his meditation or dhyan. What is the recommendation by Srila Shukadeva Goswami? One who is trying to accomplish self-realization, how he should progress. In the last session, we discussed 3 questions by Parikshit Maharaj, and the answer is given by Shukadeva Goswami. Who can please review what we discussed in the last session? Balaram Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So, in response, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, he has given some processes. He told that first of all, one should control the sitting postures and then regulate the breathing process by yogic pranayam, and then control the mind and senses. And ultimately, one should concentrate to the Virat Rupa of the Supreme Lord.
Pranayam. Here the recommendation is not pranayam.
What is
23rd verse?
Regulate the breathing process by the yogic pranayam.
Okay. And one should concentrate on the universal form in the Virat. Okay. It is technically called pratyahar. Pratyahar is withdrawing the senses from the sense objects. Then only it is possible to focus. Why we are not able to focus and meditate? Because the mind is distracted. Unless we withdraw the mind from where the mind gets absorbed into more so in the sense objects, then one cannot meditate. Is that we are not able to overcome our distractions. Why we are not able to focus? because there is so much of distractions. And how the distractions come? Because the senses are wild. They are mad. They are so much absorbed in sense objects. So when one is able to withdraw the mind from the sense objects, which is called the pratyahar, process of pratyahar, then one can begin to focus. And where he has to focus, he has to focus on the universal form. Okay. Who will explain what is the universal form? Last time we discussed. What is the universal form or the Virat Rupa of the Lord? Puruṣottam bro, what is the Virat Rupa?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhu, this Virat Rupa for one materialistic person uh, who are non-believers.
But what is it? What is Virat Rupa? क्लियर होना चाहिए ब्रो। पिछली बार हमने काफी डिस्कस किया है इसको, 2-3 बार से विराट रूप डिस्कस कर रहे हैं। व्हाट इज विराट रूप?
So it is gigantic form of the Lord.
That is true, but what constitutes the form of the Lord? Okay, Sonika, आप बताइए।
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Virat Roop is that which is visible to us, means जो भी materially हमें दिख रहा है वो भगवान का ही विराट रूप है। हम उसको फॉर्म में देखते हैं, जिसकी कवरिंग आपने बताया था कि 7 चीजों से कवर्ड है।
That is true. That was the part of the purport. But what is Virat Roop? More clearly. Yes, Dayashil bro.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay, yes, Ramya.
Prabhuji, this material world is Virat Rupa of Lord.
This material cosmic manifestation, this entire material cosmic manifestation is what? The Virat. It is the blueprint about the gigantic universal form of the Lord. What was the word used? We discussed the purport. What was the term used by Srila Prabhupada in the purport? He referred the word many times. Ramya?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
बोलिए। पैंथेइज्म भूल गई, आपने ही प्रश्न पूछा था।
हाँ, पैंथेइज्म।
पैंथेइज्म अभी तक कई लोगों को समझ में आया पैंथेइज्म क्या है? नहीं समझ में आया? अरे उतना कठिन नहीं है जितना कठिन लग रहा है। ये जो पूरा भगवान का ये जो सृष्टि है, जो अदृश्य है, जो दृश्य जिसे हम देख सकते हैं, सूर्य दिखता है, चंद्र दिखता है, ये सारा ये पूरा जगत दिखता है, ये सब क्या है? भगवान का विराट रूप। कॉस्मिक मैनिफेस्टेशन इन इज जायंटियर मटेरियलिस्टिक फॉर्म, जो अभी आपने बोला लेकिन अभी समझा नहीं उसको। ठीक है, now going forward, so now he will describe the various sections or the limbs of this Virat Rupa. How this Virat Rupa is, it covers the entire material cosmic manifestation and how it is exhibited. In the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead Lord Krishna manifested his Virat Roop just to convince the less intelligent class of men who cannot conceive of the Lord as appearing just like human being, that he factually has the potency of his claim to be the supreme absolute person without any rival or superior. Materialistic man can think, although very imperfectly, of the huge universal space. Listen very attentively. Comprehending innumerable planets as big as the sun. They can see only the circular sky, huge universal space. Okay. They can see only circular sky overhead without any information of this universe, as well as many other hundreds of thousands of universes are each covered by sevenfold material coverings of water. This we discussed. Okay, now going forward. That what are the various limbs of this Virat Rupa? Pātālam etasya hi pāda-mūlaṁ paṭhanti pārṣṇi-prapade rasātalam mahātalaṁ viśva-sṛjo atho gulphau talātalaṁ va puruṣasya jaṅghe. The various limbs are various planets for the planetary systems. So beginning from the lowest planet, that is the Pātāla, the planet at the bottom of the universe, is etasya pāda-mūlaṁ. Persons who have realized it have studied that the planets known as Pātāla constitute the bottom of the feet of the universal Lord. Then going forward, paṭhanti pārṣṇi-prapade rasātalam. Then the heels and the toes are the, and his shanks constitute the Talātala planet. Okay, so you have entire universe. So different limbs are being provided as various parts of the Lord and various planets. Outside the bodily existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the manifested cosmic existence has no reality. Why? Because it is temporary. Everything and anything of the manifested world rests on him, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita 9.4. Anyone remembers 9.4? What is 9.4? By me, unmanifest form, the entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. But that does not imply that everything and anything in the vision of the materialist is the Supreme Personality. Please hear very attentively. The conception of the universal form of the Lord gives a chance to the materialist to think of the Supreme Lord. But the materialist must know for certain that his visualization of the world is a spirit of lording it over. It is not God realization. The materialistic view of exploitation of the material resources is occasioned by the illusion of the external energy of the Lord. And as such, if anyone wants to realize the supreme truth by conceiving of the universal form of the Lord, he must cultivate the service attitude. For those who are trying to exploit this cosmic manifestation, which is a symbolic representation of the Supreme Lord in the form of Virat Roop, for them, they cannot have this realization. What Prabhupada is emphasizing, that there are only two modes. One is the mode of being a enjoyer, and the other is the mood of being a servant. So Prabhupada is saying one must cultivate the service attitude. Unless the service attitude is revived, the conception of Virat realization will have very little effect on the seer. The transcendental Lord in any conception of his form is never part of the material creation. He keeps his identity as Supreme Spirit in all circumstances and is never affected by the three material qualities. For everything material is contaminated, the Lord always exists by his internal energy. So now comes the point. The universe is divided into 14 planetary systems. 7 planetary systems called the Bhur, Bhuvar, Swar, Mahar, Janas, Tapas and Satya are upward planetary systems, one above the other. And there are 7 planetary systems downward known as Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talātala, Mahātala, Rasātala and Pātāla, gradually one below the other. In this verse, the description begins from the bottom because it is in the line of devotion. That the Lord's bodily description should begin from his feet. Very important. That we have many times read from Srila Prabhupada's purport, that where we should start our meditation or from where we should try to take darshan of the Lord is not directly from the face, but from the feet. So Prabhupada is quoting here, the description is in line of devotion. Why? Because it begins from his feet. Shukdev Goswami is a recognized devotee of the Lord and he is exactly correct in the description. Okay. So far clear? Simple. Then when the entire cosmic manifestation is the Swarupa of the Lord in his Virat Rupa, then the lower planetary systems are beginning from his toes, from his bottom of the feet. Okay? बोलो, कोई समस्या है? जैसा बताया जा रहा है बस वैसा ही पकड़ते जाओ और उसको समझने का थोड़ा प्रयास करो, ज्यादा समझ में आएगा नहीं क्योंकि विराट रूप हम नहीं देख पाएंगे, कोशिश भी करेंगे तो होगा नहीं. वे जानुनी sutalaṁ viśva-mūrter ūru-dvayaṁ vitalaṁ cātalaṁ ca mahītalaṁ taj-jaghanaṁ mahīpate nābhastalaṁ nābhi-saro gṛṇanti. The knees of the universal form are the planetary systems of the name Sutra, and the 2 thighs are the Vitala and Atala planetary system. The hips are mahītalaṁ and the outer space is the depression of his navel. So कितने हो गए? Who is keeping count? How many? कहाँ से कहाँ तक? Yes, Mahātala.
8 हो गए.
8 हो गए. पहले क्या था?
Thighs are separate. So
हाँ?
thighs are separate, Vitala and Atala. That's how it is 8.
Yeah.
Started from Pātāla.
दो बताया.
Pātāla, Rasātala, Mahātala
Yeah.
and Talātala. 4 यहाँ हो गए, 4 इधर हो गए, 8 हो गए.
नहीं what I सुनाई दे रहा है आपको?
Sorry?
आप सुबोधनी से देख के बोल रहे हैं?
नहीं, इसमें है ना, दोनों में 4 उस श्लोक में 26 में 4 इसमें.
हाँ. लेकिन जो उसका आउटर स्पेस है नोवेल, इट इज not a part of the lower planetary system.
Yes, yes.
Okay. बस सुनते जाइए, कुछ ज्यादा समझने की जरूरत नहीं है, जो लिखा है उसको बस एक्सेप्ट करना है, क्योंकि विराट रूप हम देख नहीं पाएंगे। ūru-स्थलम् ज्योतिर अनिकमस्य रीवामहर्वदनं वैजनोस्य तपोरारातिं विदुरादिपुंसा सत्यं तु शीर्षाणि सहस्रशीर्षणः. The chest of the original personality of the gigantic form is the luminary planetary system. Chest, which is luminary planetary system, which is the viśva-sṛjo. His neck is the Mahar planet. His mouth is the Janas planet, Janaloka. And his forehead is the Tapas planetary system. The topmost planetary system, known as Satyalok, is the head of him who has 1000 heads. The effulgent luminary planets like the sun and the moon are situated almost in the midpoint of the universe. And as such, they are to be known as the chest of the original gigantic form of the Lord. The above the luminary planets, called also the heavenly places of the universal directorate demigods, are the Mahar, Janas, Tapas, and above all the Satyalok planetary systems. So there are three: Bhu, Bhur, Bhuvar, and Swa. So all the planetary systems which are above the earth, they are all the higher planetary systems. And of the higher planetary system, Mahar, Janas, Tapas, and Satyalok. These are the topmost. These are above Swarga. Satyalok planetary system, where the chief directors of the modes of material nature reside, namely Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. This Vishnu is known as Shirodakshai Vishnu, and he acts as the super soul in every living being. There are innumerable universes floating in the causal ocean, and in each of them the representation of the Virat form of the Lord is there, along with innumerable suns, moons, heavenly demigods, Brahmas, Vishnus, and Shivas. And all of them are situated in one part of the inconceivable potency of the Lord, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 10.42. Yad-yad vibhuti mat-sattvam Srimad Ūritam eva tat-tat eva vigachatvam mam eko sambhava. So this is the description of the various planets as compared to the various parts of the limbs of the Lord. ठीक है, इन तीन वर्सेस में 26, 27 and 28, how it is compared to the various limbs. It was mentioned here. Next, further descriptions are given. Indradya bahvahurushra Karno disha shrotram amushya shabdah Na satya darsho paramasya nashe Ranovasya gandho mukham agnidah. His arms are the demigods headed by Indra. Various other limbs are compared. His arms are compared with the demigods headed by Indra. The 10 directional sides are his ears, and the physical sound in his sense of hearing is his sense of hearing. His nostrils are 2 Ashwini Kumaras, and material fragrance is the sense of smell. His mouth is the blazing fire. The description of the gigantic form of this personality of Godhead made in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is further explained here in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The description in the Bhagavad Gita 11:30 runs as follows. O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays. In that way, Srimad Bhagavatam is the postgraduate study for the student of Bhagavad Gita. Both of them are the signs of Krishna, the absolute truth, and so they are interdependent. Very beautiful explanation. So it is the further elaborate explanation of what Krishna gave in Bhagavad Gita. The conception of the Virat Purusha, or the gigantic form of the Supreme Lord, is said to include all the dominating demigods as well as all the dominated living beings. This is what Arjuna said, that I am able to see everyone. He categorically points out and what he is able to see. You see the verses from from 11.18, that you are the supreme primal from Bhagavad Gita 11.18. You are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place of all this universe. You are inexhaustible, and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion. Then is the Virat Rupa, and he says, you are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and moon are your eyes. I see you with the blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all spaces between. O great one, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. All the host of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. And some of them are much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Host of great sages and perfected beings crying all peace are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns. Then he describes what he sees, the different demigods. There are various manifestations of Lord Shiva, Aditya, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishwa-devas. The 2 Ashwanis. We just mentioned the 2 Ashwani Kumars. What are the 2 Ashwani Kumars? Is nostrils. The Maruts, the forefather, the Gandharva, the Yaksha, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed to see your great form with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. As they are disturbed, so am I. O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you in your many radiant colors touching the sky, then this way he gives to explain the Virat Rupa. And the 30th says that how he is devouring. I see you devouring all people from all sides. With your flaming mouth, covering all the universe with your effulgence, you are manifest with terrible scorching rays. So here, the description is much more in detail. So it is said that The Virat Purusha of the gigantic form, the Supreme Lord, is said to include all the dominating demigods as well as the dominated living beings. Even the minutest part of the living being is controlled by the empowered agency of the Lord. Since the demigods are included in the gigantic form of the Lord, worship of the Lord, whether in his gigantic material conception or in his eternal transcendental form as Lord Sri Krishna, also appeases the demigods and all other parts and parcels. As much as watering the root of a tree distributes energy to all of the tree's other parts. Consequently, for a materialist also, worship of the universal gigantic form of the Lord leads him to the right path. That is why it is recommended. But it is which way? It is the impersonal. Maya tattva idam jagat avyaktam murti. One need not risk being misled or approaching many demigods for fulfillment of different desires. The real entity is the Lord himself, and all others are imaginary, for everything is included in him only. बढ़े आगे तो कुछ पूछना है?
Prabhuji, all others are imaginary. Demigods are there, and sun, moon, etc. Everything is there. So why it is imaginary?
One moment. Where? Which paragraph?
Last line 29.
Last line.
Real entity is Lord himself. All others are imaginary.
For everything is included in him only. That means they don't have a separate existence. You see, one need not risk being misled by approaching many demigods for fulfillment of different desires. In this context, Srila Prabhupada is speaking. The real entity is the Lord himself. And as all others are imaginary, for everything is included in him only. So he is the root, he is the foundation. It is from he that these are different, various parts. But the complete is the Lord. So they are imaginary or incomplete.
Incomplete is okay, but imaginary, they are, maybe temporary.
Prabhupada has used the word imaginary, so we have to accept.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Imaginary in a sense that we are thinking that they are all powerful or they have the potency to fulfill our desires. See, this is being discussed in context to one's material desires. This is what Prabhupada thinks. One need not risk being misled by approaching many demigods for fulfillment of different desires. Otherwise, what they will do? This is what people do. Monday, they will go to Shiva and ask some desires. Tuesday, they will go to Hanumanji and ask some desires for fulfillment. This is what people do. Every day, they will go to different demigods and seek some different desires to be fulfilled. This is what Srila Prabhupada is saying, that there is no need. So, exactly it is the same thing. By approaching many demigods for fulfillment of different desires. The real entity is the Lord himself. And all others are imaginary, for everything is included in him only. Yes, Sonika?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, in the 14 planetary system, the lower 7 planetary system was discussed in 26th and 27th. And in 29th, it was discussed about the Satya, Tapa, Jana and Mahar, and Swarglok also. But Bhur and Bhuvar was not included, Prabhuji.
So it is included in 27th now. See, there are 7. So the 26 talks about the lowest 4. Pātāla, rasātalam, mahātala and talātala. And sutalaṁ and vitalaṁ. These are the 7 lower planets. system. And Earth, which is called the Mahātala, that is not part of the lower planetary system. And above Earth, there are the higher planetary system, which is Bhuvar and then Swarga. So 8th is Earth, and then Bhuvar is 9th, and then Swarga is 10th. Mahar, Janas, Tapas, and Satya become 14. 7 higher and 7 lower. बड़ा सरल है ये, पहले 7 लोअर क्लियर कर लो ना. 7 लोअर क्लियर हो गए.
Yes, प्रभु जी, कंफ्यूजन बस भूर और भूवर में बस था.
नहीं, वो they will be part of the higher planetary system. They actually are not higher planetary system. Higher planetary system begins from Swarga, but it is mentioned like that. A total 14, 7 higher and 7 lower. So 7 lower is very clear. And then the Earth, and then between Earth and between Swarga, there is this Bhuvar, where these Yakshas and all are present. That is also higher than the Earth. And Swarga, and these are 4 are, the higher ones, which is Mahar, Janas, Tapas, and Satya. Okay? Then Swarga is 5th, then Bhuvar, and then Artha, 7 and 7, 14.
प्रभु जी अपर 7 को 2 में डिवाइड करते हैं, राइट? 3 लोग ऐसे, 3 ऐसे ही होता है ना, 3 लोग.
हाँ, ठीक ठीक. अपर 7 को 2 में डिवाइड. यस. और अर्थ और उसके बाद ऊपर भूवर. अगर आप डायग्राम देखेंगे ना, मनोराम प्रभु, पुल अप द डायग्राम. ISKCON diagram. Don't pull anything else. Yes, Sonika? Your hand is up.
It's clear, प्रभु जी.
बोलो रविंदर, दिमाग लगा रहे हो या दिमाग छोड़ दिया लगाना? नहीं लगा रहे हो? लगाना चाहिए. लगाओ. प्रयास करने जानने का. जान नहीं पाएंगे क्योंकि बुद्धि बहुत सीमित है. क्रिएशन बार बार समझाई गई है, क्योंकि क्रिएशन से हमें क्रिएटर के बारे में पता चलता है. और ये पता चलता है कि क्रिएटर इज, व्हाट इज द पोजीशन ऑफ क्रिएटर, हाउ ही इज विभु and how we are anu, how insignificant we are and how great is the Supreme Lord, that he has created this creation. Yes, very good. देखो, अतल, वितल, सुतल, तलातल, महातल, रसातल एंड पतल. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, ये सारे लोअर प्लैनेटरी सिस्टम हो गए. And Bhurloka is the earth, and the Bhuvarloka is the Gandharvas and the Rakshasas. And then from Swarga, Maharlok, Janaslok, Tapaslok, and Satyalok. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. यहाँ भूवरलोक को भी ऊपर ही दिया है. तो 7 are below earth and 6 are above earth. Including earth, it becomes 12. 14, sorry. 14. ये आप प्रभु उस पर भी शेयर कर दीजिएगा अपने व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में. किसी का कोई प्रश्न है? यू कैन सी हाउ इट इज पोजिशन, one over the other or one below the other. ठीक है, यही छोड़ता हूँ। हाँ, ज्यादा आगे नहीं पढ़ा रहा क्योंकि अभी आगे और पढ़ाऊंगा तो फिर और थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन हो जाएगा। इसमें कुछ ज्यादा बुद्धि नहीं लगानी है, खाली सुनना है और समझना है, क्योंकि हम में से कोई भी मेडिटेट करने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। You don't have to meditate on the Virat Rupa. What form we have to meditate? कोई बोल ही नहीं रहा, पता ही नहीं जैसे क्या करना है। What form we have to meditate? हाँ?
Personal form of the God.
What is that personal form?
Dvibhuja.
Yeah, the deity that we have in the temple, the presiding deities. So we don't have to go for this imagination. Hare Krishna. Acha, any other question or any discussion? क्या हुआ? फर्स्ट कैंटो की 2 चैप्टर्स बाकी है ना? क्या हुआ सोनिका, एक 2 महीने हो चुके हैं, अभी और समय चाहिए?
प्रभु जी मेरा लास्ट है, उसके पहले एक और है।
हाँ, आपका 19th है?
लास्ट चैप्टर, यस प्रभु जी।
ये दयाशील को तो प्रेजेंट करना नहीं है, वो तो छोड़ो, उसके पास टाइम नहीं है। क्या हुआ? कल यू हैव टू प्रेजेंट दयाशील, यू आर नेवर रेडी।
I need some time from Jan, some work is there.
From last 2 months you did not get time, then you leave it. माननीय माता जी, आपने प्रेजेंट किया?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। जी नहीं प्रभु जी।
हाँ, तो 18 चैप्टर आप करिए। सोनिका, you present 18 and let her present 19. Is that okay?
ओके प्रभु जी, ओके प्रभु जी।
When you can present?
प्रभु जी, in weekdays I will not be able, प्रभु जी।
Weekdays you will not be able to do that. Simple है, ये सब ज्यादा बड़े नहीं है। परीक्षित by the Brahmana boy, and then 19th is appearance of Shukdev Goswami. वो ज्यादा नहीं है।
प्रभु जी वो ऑफिस से आना होता है तो प्रेजेंट कर, मतलब टाइम फिर वैसा लगेगा।
ठीक है, चलो करो। ठीक है, you do 18th and let माननीय माता जी do 19th.
कमिंग
ठीक है।
संडे को कर दूँ।
आज क्या है? ट्यूसडे, संडे, एंड माननीय माता जी यू कैन डू इट ऑन मंडे।
जी प्रभु जी।
बहुत दिन है, 5-6 दिन है।
ठीक है प्रभु।
ओके, ठीक है, थैंक यू वेरी मच। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द असेंबल्ड